the work so that I step in as whole as I can, so I can see things and I can enjoy moments.
Joanna Gaines was working on her TV show when something scary happened. She was filming like she always did, but she started feeling very tired and sick. One day while they were getting ready to film, Joanna fell down and couldn't get up. Everyone was very worried about her. The doctors had to run lots of tests to figure out what was wrong with Joanna. After checking everything, they found out she had a sickness called lupus. So this is a disease that makes your body fight against itself instead of fighting germs. It can hurt your skin, your joints, and other parts of your body. When someone has lupus, they need to rest a lot and take special medicine. Joanna had to stop working right away. She couldn't film her TV shows anymore because she was too sick. Her husband, Chip, was very worried about her. He loved his wife so much that he decided to stop working too, so he could take care of her. Even though people wanted to give him lots of money to make new TV shows, Chip said no. He wanted to stay home with Joanna. The people who worked with Chip and Joanna noticed that something was wrong. Joanna stopped showing up to work, and Chip looked very sad. They were supposed to do interviews on big TV shows, but they had to cancel everything. The company that makes their shows put a message on their website saying that Joanna needed time to take care of herself and her family. Some people took secret videos of Joanna looking very tired and sick. Fans started asking lots of questions about what was happening. Chip posted a picture on Instagram of him holding Joanna's hand. He wrote that sometimes the light needs protection to keep shining. This was his way of telling people that Joanna was not okay, but that he would take care of her. Later, Chip and Joanna made a video together to tell their fans what was happening. In the video, Joanna sat next to Chip and said she was facing some health problems. She said it wasn't easy to talk about, but she knew she wasn't alone. Chip looked at his wife and said they were learning to slow down, and he would be there until Joanna was ready to come back to work. The video showed them holding hands in their backyard with no fancy music or effects, just the truth. After that video, they stopped filming the rest of Joanna's show. They canceled all their meetings with reporters, and Joanna stopped posting on social media. The TV network stopped putting her name on new shows as the boss. But even though Joanna was quiet, her fans still cared about her and watched for any news about how she was doing. Chip started acting very different from how he used to be. Before, he was always happy and energetic on TV shows. He would dance around construction sites and smile a lot. He was the perfect partner for Joanna, who was always calm and classy. But when Joanna got sick, people saw a different side of Chip. He became quiet and serious. When Joanna had to go to the hospital for treatment, Chip would show up to work meetings alone. He would sit in the back of the room and look through papers that he and Joanna used to look at together. People who worked with them said Chip started leaving work early to go home and be with his wife. There was no official announcement, but everyone knew what was happening. Around this time, the TV network HGTV wanted Chip to make a new season of their famous show, Fixer Upper. They wanted him to work in different cities and make the show even bigger around the world. This could have made them millions and millions of dollars over 3 years. But Chip said no. He didn't want to do it without Joanna, and he wanted to stay home to take care of her. In April, Chip told everyone at his company that he wouldn't be filming any shows for the rest of the year. He also stepped back from being the boss of new TV shows. Instead of doing everything himself like before, he let other people at his company handle the work. A person who knew the family said Chip spent most of his time at home with Joanna during her treatment. Chip and Joanna would take slow walks in the garden behind their house in Waco, which used to be an old farm. Chip also started driving their kids to school and picking them up every day. This was something he hadn't been able to do much before because he was always busy with work. His Instagram account, which used to have funny videos, now only showed quiet pictures. He posted photos of a wooden bench in their yard, a coffee cup next to some work papers, and the most special picture of all, Joanna sleeping on the couch with a blanket while Chip's arm rested on her shoulder. Chip never said he was retiring or leaving his company, but he clearly chose a new job taking care of his wife. Even though business partners and TV networks wanted him to keep working, Chip chose to stay quiet and say no to opportunities. He didn't try to use his fame to keep making money. He chose the right time to stop. Not because he was scared of failing, but because he knew his wife needed him more than any contract or job. While Chip didn't talk to reporters anymore, he still worked behind the scenes with his company. He was still the owner, but he wasn't the face on TV anymore. Fans last saw him on television in a show called Fixer Upper: The Lake House, which aired in June 2024. Meanwhile, Joanna was getting her second round of treatment. Her body was weaker, but her eyes were still strong and determined. Chip sat in a chair next to her hospital bed, in the same spot where he had sat more than 20 years earlier when Joanna gave birth to their first child. Even though Chip never said the word goodbye on TV, his actions showed everyone what was most important to him. When Chip and Joanna stepped away from the spotlight, people wondered what would happen to their company, Magnolia. Surprisingly, the person who helped the most wasn't an adult worker, but their oldest daughter, Ella, who was 17 years old. Ella was a senior in high school when she started working part-time at Magnolia just before her mom got sick. She had been following her mother to the office, taking notes about designs and asking the creative team questions about mood boards and magazine layouts. When Joanna had to step back, Ella didn't just stay to help, she stepped up to do more. At first, Ella was just helping with small meetings about her mom's show, but after a few weeks, she became the person who would talk to the work team for her mom. When Joanna felt good enough to talk on the phone, Ella would listen and then tell the workers what her mom wanted. She learned how to schedule video editing, handle emails from Target, a store they work with, and manage social media posts to make sure everything still looked like the Magnolia brand. Even though Ella didn't have an official job title, she became the bridge between the company that was moving slowly and her mom who needed to rest. The other three kids, Duke, MEK, and Crew, also changed what they did every day to help. Chip shared in a short interview that little Crew would ask, "How is mommy today?" every time Chip picked her up from preschool. MEK helped make healthy meals based on what the doctor said Joanna should eat. She would print out menus and stick them on the refrigerator, marking each day with a pink marker. Duke would go with his dad to work meetings and take notes so Joanna could read them later. Nobody told the kids they had to do these things, but each child chose their own way to help keep the family balanced during this hard time. A worker at Magnolia told a story about how all 5 children sat together in the warehouse, carefully checking each magazine cover before it was sent out. Joanna watched them on the security camera and started crying. It was the first time she had cried since finding out she was sick, not because of pain, but because she realized she wasn't alone. Even though Joanna stayed away from social media, she kept in touch with her fans through short recordings and voice messages. Ella edited a 45-second video of these recordings and put them together with photos of the family eating dinner. The video was posted on Magnolia Network's Instagram and got almost 4 million views in just 3 days. In the video, Joanna said, "I've been running for 20 years, and now it's time to slow down. Not to stop, but so my kids can keep up." Having the family help, especially the kids being so active, not only kept Magnolia running, but also helped Joanna not feel like she was a burden. All the things that Chip and Joanna had talked about in hundreds of Fixer Upper episodes, family, love, and devotion, were no longer just words. They became real actions. In that silence, fans understood that the Gaines family wasn't fighting their problems. They were living honestly, gently, and together, the way any good home needs a solid foundation. Chip and Joanna became famous in 2013 when their show Fixer Upper started on HGTV. Within just 1 season, they became household names across the country. They did home renovation like other shows, but they did it differently. Joanna created a style that was rustic, simple, and sophisticated. Chip did the construction work and kept the show energetic and fun. Old homes were transformed into beautiful living spaces, and viewers couldn't stop watching. Fixer Upper was so successful that it went way beyond just being a TV show. By the time the final season ended in 2018, Chip and Joanna had built a huge business empire. They had Magnolia Market at the Silos, which is a shopping, dining, and entertainment complex in the heart of Waco. They had Magnolia Journal, a lifestyle magazine. They partnered with Target to create Hearth and Hand, a home furnishings brand. Then they created Magnolia Network, their own television channel that started in 2022. Every move they made was smart and connected to the main values they had from the beginning. Design that feels like family. Joanna wasn't just a designer. She became a cultural icon who influenced how homes looked for a whole decade. From white subway tiles to sliding barn doors to neutral paint colors, she made her mark on everything. Chip wasn't just a builder either. He created the image of the modern Texas man, strong but loving, funny but devoted to his family. But with success came more problems. In 2017, they had a legal fight with former business partners. That same year, they were criticized for not including LGBTQ plus characters on their show, which created media pressure they chose to handle quietly. In 2018, the couple was fined $40,000, 0 cents, for not following lead paint rules while renovating several homes. When faced with problems, Chip and Joanna don't attack back. They step back, deal with it quietly, and move forward. By 2023, Magnolia House, one of their most famous properties, was put up for sale for $995,000, 0 cents. At the time, people thought it was just a simple business move, but looking back now, it seems more like they were preparing for bigger changes. Fixer Upper, The Lake House, which aired in mid-2024, marked Chip and Joanna's return after a long break. But it also marked the end of an era. The show was filmed in just one house, not as a series. Everything was slower, more intimate, and more emotional. Mini Rennie, which came out in May 2025, was the last project directly connected to Joanna before she stopped working. In mid-2024, they announced a 3-month summer break with no filming and no press conferences, just private time to think about Magnolia's direction. Looking back, it's clear this was when Joanna started showing signs of being sick. Magnolia didn't fall apart, but it was clearly slowing down. Not because it was failing, but because the founders needed to live up to what they'd always taught. Health, family, and peace come first. They had renovated hundreds of homes with the idea of letting each home show the people who live in it. Now, as their own lives changed, Magnolia changed with them, quietly and steadily. After more than 3 months away, Joanna returned to the Magnolia market without any announcement. There were no reporters or camera crews, just her closest friends and longtime co-workers. She wore a thick coat and hat, and her body looked thinner, but her eyes were still clear and determined. It was a small private event organized by Ella called Welcome Home Mom. A few booths had been set up with displays of new products and large photos of Joanna's everyday life that weren't edited or staged. When she walked in and saw everyone clapping, she was surprised and started crying from the long applause. Ella led her mother through each booth, whispering about what she and the team had kept going during Joanna's treatment. Little Crew hugged her mother's leg and whispered something that made Joanna laugh. It was the first time in months that anyone had seen a full smile on her face. She walked slowly and didn't say much, but she kept her habit of touching each product and adjusting each display corner. It was the habit of a designer who never stops caring about details. After that day, Joanna didn't return to work at her usual fast pace. Instead, she stayed involved behind the scenes on small projects, mostly through design notes or short phone calls. She also began writing about her treatment experience, not to publish it, but to organize what had happened. Chip encouraged her to turn her notes into a book. The idea grew into a serious project that would be published under Magnolia Books and would focus on the family's journey to recovery and how to stay strong during the most difficult times. Chip continues to handle general business operations, but his public appearances are limited. Magnolia Network's important meetings are held remotely, and top executives have more independence with direct instructions from the couple. They don't talk about giving up control of their business, but they are clearly changing their roles in the empire they built over more than a decade. Joanna is no longer the woman who does it all that the press once praised. She used to be someone who could build a media empire, be a mother of 5 children, host shows, design, write books, and inspire people with just a smile. Now, she is a woman who is living within her own limits. She accepts that her body needs rest, that health cannot be taken lightly, and that no one can carry everything forever just by trying hard. She faces this with silence, with the decision to step away from the spotlight when she is no longer strong enough, and with complete faith in the love that her family has for her. Without shouting or making big announcements, Joanna is getting through this stage with the calm and simplicity that make her who she is. Chip and Joanna Gaines's life was never just a TV show. It was a real journey with high points, low points, and moments when they had to choose what was most important. The people who have followed them from their first home in Waco to the Magnolia Empire today know one thing for sure. They didn't build their success on talent alone, but on not letting go of each other when life took a difficult turn.